Welcome back, Arsenal FanTv America Champions League edition, episode 2. Very exciting news, lots of games. As we talked about before, we're still in that 32 teams groups, which is 16 games. 16 games played on 2 days, Tuesdays and Wednesdays. 8 matches, which is 2 teams per match, equals 16, right? 8 matches on Tuesday and then 8 matches on Wednesday. So when there is an international call, we don't have Champions League. Last couple of weeks, we did not have Champions League because we had the UEFA Nations League going on in Europe. And of course, around the world, friendlies are going on, lots of other matches, and all is in preparation for the big stage World Cup. The World Cup, of course, is coming November 20th, a month and a couple of weeks away. Everybody's excited, everybody's getting ready. So now back to the Champions League, and we have great results. We had 8 games on Tuesday, 8 games on Wednesday. Starting with Group A, which has Napoli, Liverpool, Rangers, and Ajax Amsterdam. It was a bit different with this group, this go-around. So I'm going to talk about a game here that I really didn't expect the game to be that way, which is the Napoli Ajax. I've been to the Johan Cruyff Stadium, where that's the venue for that very game. And the reason I talk about that game first is because Ajax, which is actually one of my favorite teams in the world, Ajax Amsterdam from the Netherlands, Holland, they lost at their own turf, Johan Cruyff Stadium. They lost 6-1 to a Napoli side that we cannot discredit, leading the Serie A on top of Juventus and AC Milan and Inter Milan and all the big names in Italy. Napoli is not a small name, but they're doing really, really well this year, and they continue to do well this year. They're sitting top of Group A of the Champions League. So that was for the Ajax Amsterdam-Napoli game. Again, it was at Ajax, and they lost 6-1. Heavy defeat for Ajax, and Ajax is now sitting third in the group with only 3 points. Now we go to the other game of that group, of course, between Liverpool and Rangers. Very difficult for Rangers or for anyone to go to Anfield to get even a point. So, of course, Liverpool won that game 2-0 at Anfield, and now sits on top of the group, Napoli, with 9 points. Wow, 3 wins in 3 games. 6 points for Liverpool, 3 for Ajax Amsterdam, and 0 for Rangers. They're sitting bottom of Group A. We go now to Group B. Group B is the most exciting group from underdog standpoint, because we all know that Club Brugge, the Belgium team, sitting on top of the group, Group B. And they have 3 wins out of 3 matches. That's very impressive. And I'll tell you why this is very impressive. If you look around this whole entire team, I can only think of one name that I know, which is Mignolet, the goalkeeper. This go around, they played Atletico Madrid, and they beat Atletico Madrid at Club Brugge Stadium in Belgium, and they beat Atletico Madrid 2-0 on top of Group B. 3 wins. I don't know what they're doing, but they're doing everything right. They're intense, they're teamwork, they're there for each other's. You could see the 1-2, you could see the movement of the whole team togetherness. When you watch this team, something really, really impressed me is the distance between the first player and the last player. They always move together. So if they're attacking, their defense moves all the way up to keep that same distance. If they're going backwards to defend, they're defending as a unit and they're keeping the distance. And they really played a great game this go around. Again, it's not easy to beat a team like Atletico Madrid. They are full of stars. Joao Felix and company, Antoine Griezmann, the French international, and so on and so forth. And Morata, the Spanish international, Thomas Lemar, the French international. So there's a lot of heavy names. Their captain, Koke, the captain for Spain, in the middle. It is a lot of good players in Atletico Madrid. Their coach, of course, Diego Simeone. We all know him and know of him. And they just won the Spanish title a couple years ago. So not an easy team to beat, but again, going back to Club Brugge here, that's an amazing, amazing thing to see. 3 wins in a row. They have never seen Champions League football. They're very happy, and they've never seen such a streak. in a Champions League football in their history. And that's a great, great accomplishment by them. Next game for Bayer Leverkusen. They went to visit Porto in Portugal, and they lost, unfortunately, for the Leverkusen's fans. Porto beat them 2-0. Good game, easy on the eye, good to watch. Porto did a good job. They came out of the gates wanting to win that game. They know they're playing at home. They took that advantage, and they won 2-0. Group B now, sitting, of course, number one, the beautiful story of the underdog Club Brugge, with 9 points leading, sitting on top of that group, maintaining the winning streak, the beautiful winning streak, 3 out of 3. Second and third and fourth, they all have the same points, 3 points each. So for now, it sits Porto as second, third is Bayer Leverkusen, and the fourth spot, Atletico Madrid, which is, of course, I don't know what to say. Atletico Madrid, third game, third week, Champions League, and they're sitting bottom of their group. I'm not sure even if they're qualified, but the last three, the second, the third, and the fourth, they all have 3 points. So anything can still happen. Going to Group C, of course, sitting on top of that group. We remember Group C we talked about last time, but we'll talk about it again. Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Inter Milan, and Victoria Pilsen, which is a very, very, very tough group for Victoria Pilsen, of course, with the 3 other names. But still, Barcelona cannot find a win. We'll talk about that momentarily. The first game we will talk about is for the group leaders, Bayern Munchen. Great game. They won 5-0. And Victoria went out there. Pilsen, they did go out there as a team, work together. But of course, it's really, really hard to go to the Allianz Arena and beat a team like Bayern Munich. And we saw that last week. They beat Barcelona. So they continue their winning streak. Bayern Munich continue their winning streak. Now 3 wins in 3 games, sitting on top of Group C with how many points? Of course, 9 points. You win, 3 points. You draw, it's 1 point. You lose, nada. Going back to that group, and the other game in this group was Barcelona playing Inter Milan, and that was in Italy at the San Siro, the home of Inter Milan and AC Milan that they share. This go-around was Inter Milan hosting Barcelona, looking for a win so they can secure that second place right below Bayern Munich, which is leading the group. They went out there, Barcelona, guns blazing, lots of missing chances. Barcelona did play a good game. They did score a goal that was disallowed due to a handball in the penalty area, and the game finished 1-0 to the Italians in the San Siro. Inter Milan walked away with 3 points and a 1-0 over Barcelona that now is sitting with only 1 win over Victoria Pilsen. If we remember the first game for Barca, they had 3 points. Now after that, they went to Bayern Munich in Germany, lost, and now in Italy, they go there and they also lose to the Italian giants, Inter Milan, at the San Siro, and now they're sitting third in the group. Fourth is Victoria Pilsen, unfortunately, with 0 points. So again, here's Group C, Bayern Munich sitting on top. Number 2, Inter Milan. Number 3 is Barcelona. And number 4, Victoria Pilsen. Now we go to Group D, and what we all know, this group has Sporting Club, Tottenham, Frankfurt, and has Olympique Marseille from France. The first game that I watched was the Marseille game. And Marseille was able to now finally grab 3 points. I like a certain player on that team, which is Guendouzi. He is an ex-Arsenal player. Now he is the captain for Marseille. Plays with a lot of heart. And I want to always try my best to watch Marseille's game, Olympique Marseille. They play a good football, Marseille also. And I was surprised to see them at the bottom of the group. However, with that being said, they did grab the 3 points. After they went down 1-0 in the first half to Sporting, they came back at home and they won 4-1. So great game, great win for Olympique Marseille. Now they're sitting fourth in the group. They beat actually Sporting, and Sporting is sitting on top of the group with 6 points. Let's discuss the second and third. Tottenham and Frankfurt. Tottenham has 4 points and Frankfurt has 4 points now. Before the game, they both started with 3 points. They played in Germany and at the Frankfurt Stadium. The draw, it was an okay game. They were 0-0, no goals scored. Boring Tottenham. And congratulations, by the way, for Arsenal FC for winning the derby last week out. The English Premier North London derby. Arsenal beat Tottenham 3-1. And now Arsenal, by the way, just won in the Europa League. It was a great win for them. So going back to that group, Group D, sitting number 1, Porto with 6 points, 2 and 3, Tottenham and Frankfurt with 4 points each. Bottom of that group sitting Marseille with 3 points after that one win they had versus Porto at home. And next is Group E. Salzburg is sitting on top of that group. Chelsea, AC Milan second and third. And we have Dinamo Zagreb with 3 points at the bottom of that group. Now, if you could see, Salzburg leading 5 points, 4 for Chelsea, 4 for Milan, and 3 for Dinamo Zagreb. The highlight game of that group was the Chelsea AC Milan game, played at the Stamford Bridge Stadium, which is the home of Chelsea in London. Chelsea did a really, really good job attacking AC Milan right away. And I also did not see AC Milan showing up. They did have lots of people missing from the first team. However, the people that came and replaced the missing people did not show that, hey, I want to be here, I want to play, I want to show myself. It's an intimidating place, the Chelsea Stadium. Chelsea fans are intimidating. However, again, if I'm a player that's waiting for a chance to play from AC Milan standpoint, that would be the game that I shine. However, it didn't happen. This game was won by Chelsea 3-0. One of them, Aubameyang, scored a good goal for Chelsea. He was there at the right time, bad defense, nice ball played, and Uba scored. So Chelsea now is second with 4 points. AC Milan is third with 4 points, and Dinamo Zagreb 3. And finally, the Salzburg-Dinamo Zagreb game ended in Salzburg's favor. They won 1-0, again to lead the group, and Dinamo Zagreb will stay with 3 points at the bottom of the group. And now we go to Group F. Of course, we know the 14-time champions Real Madrid is in that group, and they take this very seriously. The Champions League to them is very, very important, and they focus and try to win every game. This go around, Real Madrid played at the Bernabeu. They played Schalke. Schalke came out very, very strong. It was a great game. You could not really separate the two teams. But of course, we know the flow of the football for Real Madrid. Adding Chomani to the midfield also is a tremendous addition. He took Real Madrid to another level. What he does helps the team tremendously. And why do I say that? Because he breaks all the plays for the other team. He also starts Real Madrid's attack. So he does both exceptionally well. Some players can get the ball and break a play, but don't know how to distribute it after that to start a counter-attack or to start the attack for their own team. And some players are excellent in starting that attack, but they don't usually get that ball. So that's why they have a holding midfielder behind them and then they become a playmaker. But the young man is great acquisition from Monaco by Real Madrid. We saw him playing for France one game, and then the second game, he was a Real Madrid player. Of course, you could see right away how good he is, the build, the stature, the speed of him. He's a complete player. That game ended 2-1 for Real Madrid. Karim Benzema was back. 2 goals for Real Madrid. Rodrigo, one of them, and Vinicius Jr., of course, top form, scored the second one. But again, a great game. Benzema did not score this go around. Still very tight with Lewandowski. He needs every goal, but I'm pretty sure that they will progress Real Madrid to the next go around or to the next round, which is, as we all discussed, the round of 16. 16 teams are going to move on from the 32 that are currently playing, and I'm pretty sure that Bayern Munich and Real Madrid, of course, is going to be one of those teams. Now, Group F is sitting Real Madrid, Shakhtar Donetsk, RB Leipzig, and then Celtic. And if you remember last episode, we talked about RB Leipzig, which was the second game going to take on Celtic FC. And of course, I know that RB Leipzig will win, and I said that last episode, and they did. They did not disappoint me, and they actually did win 3-1. Now, RB Leipzig are the third in that very group. So again, Group F, Real Madrid on top with 9 points. Shakhtar Donetsk second with 4 points. And then you have the RB Leipzig sitting third with 3 points after their win over Celtic. And then Celtic sitting at the bottom with only 1 point from a draw out of 3 matches. Then next we go to Group G. And in Group G, one of the favorites, of course, which is ManCity. They did win again At home, they beat Copenhagen. Of course, for them, it's a very easy win, 5-0. Copenhagen was not really up to City's strength and depth of the squad. And of course, Erling Haaland and his goaling streak continues. The guy's he stands at the right place at the right time at all times. And ManCity, of course, is leading the group. We go to the second game. What I thought was more interesting than the City game was the Borussia Dortmund game, playing Sevilla at Sevilla's home. Why was it interesting? Because Sevilla's coach was out the door. He was sacked before the game, so that was the last game for him. And I thought that the players would go out and play for him. And he has, Esco of the world, the Eric Lamela of the world, the Jesus Navas of the world. He has a lot of good players in Sevilla. However, Sevilla's players did not perform up to that standard that you would expect from them at home. So they lost 4-1 to the Borussia Dortmund flying team. They were just as good as any other team that wins this Champions League. They were just very, very good on the day. They did really good, Borussia Dortmund. I enjoyed watching a big portion of that game. They kept me watching. They won 4-1 to now claim the second spot into that very group. So as we could see here, that ManCity has 9 points, leading the group. Dortmund has 6 points, second place. Sevilla with 1 point, and Copenhagen with 1 point, sitting at the bottom of Group G. Next is Group H, and we all know Group H, of course, has Paris Saint-Germain. I always talk about PSG because I really enjoy watching Neymar and Messi play together. I also enjoy watching Mbappe, don't get me wrong. But he has a lot to learn. He needs to grow with the game, and he will grow with the game and gain more experience so he can enjoy his football and we can enjoy his football. Because let me tell you this, if the footballer himself is enjoying their football, then we as fans are enjoying their football. Now, you watch these three, it's like a symphony. Behind them sits Marco Verratti, and now this little Vitinha that they bought. And it's a joy to watch. Vitinha goes out, comes in the Ruben Diaz of the world. These players are best in their positions. You look in the back and there's Sergio Ramos on one side, and Marquinhos is on another side. You look at the right back, Achraf Hakimi, one of the fastest, if not the fastest, and best attacking right backs in the world. So complete team with PSG, and this time around, they go to Benfica. And let me tell you, what a game. I think was the best game this past week for the Champions League. And this particular go-around, match day 3, group stages we're still in. Benfica did a great job. PSG went to visit them at the Benfica Stadium in Portugal. And they found a surprise of this humongous stadium full of the Benfica supporters. Benfica went guns blazing. They missed lots and lots of opportunity, but they played such a great game, you could not take your eyes off of them. And then on the other side, of course, you have that, exchange of play between Messi and between, Verratti, Mbappe, Neymar. Such a joy to watch. First goal was a symphony. I mean, I can't tell you anything other than it was a symphony. Benfica were amazing. So to beat that, you had to produce something above amazing, above excellence. And that's what Neymar, Messi, and Verratti came up with to pass the ball to each other's. Ended up with Neymar putting it right on top of the 18 for Messi with a beautiful weighted pass. Messi takes it one time. There is no goalkeeper in the world that will stop such a beauty. The game ended 1-1, and it was again a great battle. You can see now that PSG is still a little vulnerable. If Benfica can intimidate them, what do you think Bayern Munich and Real Madrid will do? Big question. We will see. Games to come. I'm pretty sure that they will meet one of them. The City, the Bayern Munich, the Barcelona. I'm sorry, is going to be out if they don't win next game. We didn't talk about that, but that deserves a stop. I don't want to kind of shift from Real Madrid and PSG to Barca, but I have to here because Barcelona, 2 games now, you lost. You are not going to make it. I think they're going to go down to the UEFA. It is what it is. It's said I think it's almost done. Even if you win next game, tough for Barcelona to come out positive in this group. Going back to the last group, Group H, that has PSG, Benfica, Juventus, and Maccabi Haifa. So, of course, the second game was Maccabi Haifa went to visit the old lady, the Italian old lady, Juventus. That's what they call him in Italy. But the Scudetto champions for years and years in a row, and they beat Maccabi Haifa 3-1. However, it was 2-0 for the majority of the game. Maccabi Haifa came and scored a goal. It was 2-1, and they looked like they were actually going to score a second goal, and they will tie the game. Maccabi Haifa played a really, really good game. That's a team, of course, that does not possess, half or even 10% of the talent that Juventus have on the bench. So, with that said, Maccabi Haifa played a great game. However, Juventus were able to win at home 3-1. And now the group sits. Paris Saint-Germain with 7 points. Benfica with 7 points. 3 points for Juventus and 0 points for Maccabi Haifa. That was the Champions League edition. And that was all groups. Group A through H. Covered every game. Very, very good football that we watched Tuesday and Wednesday. Next Tuesday and Wednesday, you will have also other great games that we're looking forward to. Thank you so much for watching, all fans around the world. Arsenal FanTv America welcomes you to the second most valuable edition of the Champions League.